It's that time again. It's the Coffee and Hardcore podcast. This is episode 13, and we're calling this one Reviews and Shit. I've got Wiley Willis all the way from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago!
I got Steven, the Hardcore Encyclopedia, all the way from Boston, Mass.
Boston!
And I got Jacob Okenkroll all the way from the Finger Lakes in New York.
Yeah, I'm in the Finger Lakes.
The Finger Lakes. So what's
They
up,
kill men.
fellas?
They kill men in the Finger Lakes.
They
They steal your Harley retro motorcycles in the Finger Lakes.
Yeah, they do.
Jacob plays with cats in the Finger Lakes.
I can't believe you found that, man. That was like just down the road. Somebody just take a joyride or what?
Yeah, well, I talked to a few neighbors and they hit a bunch of houses and they were taking motorcycles and four-wheelers. And I just happened to find mine. I think they decided that because it's orange, it was way too ugly and they just ditched it.
But orange is awesome.
It is awesome.
But it made it easy to find.
That's true.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
So-
guys, thanks for letting me jump on the intro. For the listeners, I'm not going to be on the rest of the episode because I suck and I'm too busy at work. Because of Leo.
Are you printing shirts for the band that shall not be named?
No, it's just Leo went on tour for 7 days and then he came back for like 3 or 4 and then he went back on tour for 10 days. And so when he's gone, all hands on deck printing.
Jeez.
So
Leo,
we
is that
basically,
important?
well, he's the printer during the day and then Cody and I work second shift. So when we come in, we have to do his job and then we have to do our job.
Oh, so you're
Because
doubling up.
no one's working during the day when he's gone.
That's crazy.
straight out.
Mhm.
You're a working machine.
Mm.
So
Not
hey,
like Jacob.
I know that you wanted to talk about a certain coffee that you got because you didn't get to do a review. So we're going to go ahead and let you do a review of coffee in the intro. That's a first.
Yeah. My wife, she works for Green Spoon, and she went to this kind of like, she's going to get mad. Well, she's not going to get mad. She's not going to care, but I guess a trade show is what you call it, but maybe it's not that. A show where like there's a bunch of brands that are trying to get picked up and seen, you know, whatever. Jacob probably knows all about that.
Sure.
You know about those, right? Yeah, you go to those, don't you?
I've been to a few.
Okay. Well, there's this coffee. It's the fire department coffee, the FDC, firefighters, handcrafted coffee, small batch, veteran owned, which I think is badass, in Rockford, Illinois. And they gave it to her. They weren't giving these away, but she was like, hey, my husband does a coffee podcast and he would love to try it. And they're like, really? Just take it then. Basically gave it to her.
Nice.
Nice.
They're pretty small. They are in Jewel, but they're not in tons of stores. So I really liked it. I'm drinking it cold right now. I drank it hot in my Open Crow mug. I drank it hot first just to try it and then been drinking it cold the rest of the day. But it's definitely like old school 80s, 90s diner tasting coffee, which,
Okay.
as you know, I really like. It smells really good. It's pretty bitey in a good way. I really like it. I think it's really good coffee. I'm not sure how much it is though. But it would be like if it was like a decent price, it would be like a good, everyday morning coffee, it's good. I like it. It's good coffee right there. Coffee.
Does it benefit all firemen everywhere or just in their local area?
Well, let me look. Keep the coffee bag closed. Ingredients: coffee.
Is it also good because it has the Red Wings colors?
It does. The original medium roast coffee is where it all began and continues to be a staple for the fire department coffee. Delivers a balanced, smooth taste in every cup. About in 2016, here it is. Our mission is to craft great tasting coffee and support our fellow firefighters first responders by giving back. So I guess
Nice.
it doesn't say how much he gives back, but if I had more time and I was good at my podcast job, I would have went to their website and looked it up. But here we are.
Here we are. So they're kind of like that sandwich shop. What's that sub sandwich shop that they do stuff for firefighters? What's that called? Firehouse Subs. Have you ever heard of them?
I have
Yeah,
not.
we've got one in Ithaca.
Yeah, they do that for they actually a part of whatever they make in their whatever town they're in goes to the local fire department. So that's pretty cool.
But
That's
you can
cool.
go to firedepartmentcoffee.com and you can check it out and order it there.
Cool.
So
We'll put
Pretty
a link
cool,
to
man.
that.
let's link it up. Veteran owned. That's my favorite. Shout out to our veterans. Thank you for your service for sure.
So Wiley, I have a question to ask you.
Please do.
Who won the Stanley Cup?
Whoa. The beautiful Vegas Golden Helmets with their shining golden helmet glory. I think when they won the Stanley Cup, I know I posted it on the Coffee and Hardcore Instagram page, but I think that was the first time I've called them the Vegas Golden Knights in probably a whole year. I think most people thought that I thought their team was actually called the Golden Helmets.
Golden Helmets.
And you're the Mick, you're the reason I started calling them that.
Oh,
You're like
The
those
Golden
damn
Helmets.
Golden Helmets. I
I
hate
know.
them.
I hate them. I hate them so much. But you know what? It's way better than the team they were playing.
Yes.
Yes, Florida.
Yeah.
But LA's the one that started those shiny helmets.
Yeah, which is weird. But
Yeah, they had the silver ones or have it. You know what else is weird is you said I can't stand those shiny helmets, and then they didn't wear them again at all in the playoffs.
what? Oh, that's right. They
Yeah.
didn't.
Never. They wore those like actual cool, like faded black ones, and then the white ones. They never wore the golden ones ever again.
It's because they heard the podcast and they're like, hey, they're making fun of us. We need to stop.
I'm sure that's it. It's gotta be. But it still works because their logo is that golden helmet on the front of their jersey. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just got to let you know that it made my year knowing that I didn't have to buy a Florida Panthers hockey puck for my son and I's Stanley Cup champion hockey pucks that I'm giving him when he turns 18. So each year I buy a hockey puck. Well, I guess it's the second year.
Yeah.
For the Stanley Cup champions, and I get the little case. And then when he turns 18, I'm giving him all of them. So
That's
I would have
cool.
had to. I would have had to be like, sorry, I lost that Florida one. I don't know what happened to
I
it.
don't know what happened to it. Jeez, man.
Jeesh, man, boy,
Jeez,
dog.
man. Dog, what up? Kill
Jacob,
it.
you don't look enthused whatsoever.
Oh, I just have no idea what you guys are talking about.
That's right. You don't like hockey.
I'm just watching my cat watch moths.
Oh, I said, what are we gonna do for 3 months now if there's not hockey? But Jacob just answered that question.
Oh, cats.
We're
are
gonna watch
entertaining
cats,
all day
watch
long.
moths.
It's a new
So
sport.
what else we got to talk about in this intro? Of
I don't know. Do you want to hear about my adventures the other day?
course, always.
Yes, definitely.
So I work at a music store.
Oh
have a-
yes, this.
We have a huge dumpster that's kind of out in front near the end of our parking lot, and people go through it quite a bit. It's not a big deal. There's a couple folks that come through, and you can tell they're kind of looking for food, and if they are, we'll kind of help them out, whatever we have, because we always have like leftover pizza, leftover stuff. We'll always give it away so they can have it. But there's been this one guy that shows up, and it's kind of weird because I don't know, he just has a weird vibe. And when he goes through the trash, he rips open the trash bags and throws it all over the place and just makes a huge mess. And then we got to
Like
go out and
throws
clean
it
it up.
outside
Yeah.
of the. Yeah.
Throws it outside of the thing and then just makes a huge mess. And so one time I told him, I was like, hey man, there's really nothing in there today. I don't know what you're looking for, but there's some stuff that you can get, busted up with. Like there's some broken piano pieces and stuff. And he kind of went on his way. Well, this time, it was just the other day, he's digging through the trash again and he's just ripping up trash bags and throwing stuff everywhere. And I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, man, there's like busted light bulbs down in there, like the big, huge fluorescent long ones that we just thrown in there. There's a huge broken piano pieces like sticking out. I'm like, dude's gonna get cut, he's gonna get hurt. He's waist deep and he's like 6'3". So I walk out there and I'm picking up the trash and putting it back in the dumpster. I'm like, hey man, like there's really nothing in there. Like, I can't have you doing this every time you come. It makes a huge mess and we got to clean it up after you. And dude went from like level 1 to level 1,000 and got like 2 inches from my face, and he's screaming at me and he's like, I don't leave a mess. And I'm like, man, there's a mess on the ground right now. And I don't know what happened. I think maybe one of my coworkers thought the guy was going to hurt me, but I was just like, I pastored for 30 years. Like I've dealt with, stuff like this before. I'm like, I just kept calm and just talk. And I don't know what it was, but one of the guitar tech just came out of nowhere and was like, started yelling back at the guy. And I'm like, oh God, this is going to get bad. So they're yelling at each other and I'm like trying to get in between them. And I'm like, if I get in between and I touch this guy, he's probably going to start swinging. So I can't do that. So I do the dad thing. Like, you kind of keep going like, all right, fellas, that's enough. Come on, boys. Let's just settle down.
I'll make you peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, it would be all right. Yeah, just come on. And finally I get the coworker to get out of there. And, I start talking to the guy and he's just, level 1,000. And I know what it is. It's like he's embarrassed, whatever he's going through, that's all coming out in this moment. And I kept trying to reassure him, I'm not going to call the cops. I'm not, I don't think any less of you, man. I just can't have you making a mess and all this stuff. And it just was just constant, just right. Like it's been a long time since I've had somebody 2 inches from my face screaming, cussing, but also like the dude's tall. And there was a moment when he said something like, you're all just looking down on me. And I wish I would have said it because I think it may have broken me. He probably would have laughed. But dude's 6'3", and I wanted to, and I didn't. I wanted to say so bad, dude, I ain't looking down on you. I'm looking up at you. But I didn't. I wanted to so bad, but I thought maybe it would crack him up. But oh, dude,
or
it was
crack
crazy.
you up,
or he cracked me up. The whole time I'm thinking, as long as he don't sucker punch me, I think I can get out of the way. But if he sucker punched me, it's gonna hurt because the dude was pretty beefy, like he was pretty ripped, and I was like, if he sucker punches me, I might go down. But if he doesn't, I think I can get out of the way, and then I'm fat enough that if I roll, I can just take him out. And I'll lay on top of him until the cops come. So I think I told Wiley that, like, I don't know kung fu, I know fat fu. So I would have taken him down.
I said no shame in that game.
No.
I mean, he might be down in his luck and be homeless, but at least he's still got his gym membership and he's jacked,
Dude, I'm like, there's ain't no way that dude's not lifting weights somewhere.
Right.
So yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, he finally left. He said he was going to come back and beat everybody up at 8:00, but he never showed up. I was like, he's not going to show up. Everybody was like, oh, I'm like, he's not going to show up. He was embarrassed. And he left, and I wasn't trying to.
What if you gave him? What if you had like food for him when he showed up at 8:00?
That's the thing. He wasn't looking for food. He was trying to see if we had thrown like a ukulele or something away so he could turn around and sell it.
What if you gave him a ukulele?
Well, we can't do that.
But what if?
But what if? Maybe he could have been the next Tiny Tim. Never know.
Steven, what hat are you wearing? It's backwards.
Red Sox.
Oh, nice. It's a blue hat though?
Yeah, it's their City Connect hat. So it's
I don't speak the language. Oh, weird.
and
I
each
thought
team
it was
has
I thought it was a Detroit Lions hat, and I was gonna
No.
give you props. I'm wearing my Tigers hat.
There you go.
Gonna go see the Tigers and the White Sox with the boy.
That'd be cool. When you going?
So excited. September.
Nice.
Yes. Because we have to go to an early game. Like I wanted to take him to a Red Wings Blackhawks game to root for the Red Wings, but they're all at night and he goes to bed at 7. So
yeah, that'd be rough.
Save that for later.
Yeah. So They were playing the Red Sox, the Brewers, and the Tigers on. I think those are all early games, which I would be cool with all three of those. But I think we're going to the Tigers one.
Nice.
And Mick said the Tigers are not doing good this year. I know nothing about baseball in this.
But it's been a decade.
But you get to see Cabrera, and he might hit a home run. He might do some shenanigans. You never know. That dude's awesome.
Shenanigans.
So, yep.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for having me on this intro. Y'all want to get into it so we're not, rambling too much?
That's true. We probably should.
Let's do it.
All right.
Jacob, good to see your sexy face. And
Nice, good to see yours.
I'm going to light your ass back up on fire. Sorry, I just watched Goon the other day. I'm going to light your ass on fire. I'm going to light your ass back up on fire. That's the best movie ever. If y'all haven't seen Goon, you better watch it.
I don't think I've seen it.
Well, then you're dead to me. All right, let's get into it.
This one goes out to my one and only true love. Coffee. Coffee, you're so cool. And in my cup, you're gonna rule. Coffee, understand, I'm gonna love you till the very end. Coffee, 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 I love you. Oh, coffee, 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 I love you. Oh, nitro latte, French press, and a pour over two. 1,000 ways to drink you, even as a cold brew. Coffee beans at the end of the line. I'm gonna grind. Oh, coffee, 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 coffee. I love you. Oh, coffee. Oh, coffee.
All right, so it's that time of the show when we review coffee. And today, we got a special guest with us. We got Jacob Oakencrow hanging with us, doing reviews, becoming a regular part of the show, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
The only person that has any knowledge of coffee on the show, so now we sound legit.
Right.
I just fake it really well.
So Jacob, man, what coffee you bring to the table today?
So I went with one of the local roasters from my area. They're called Copper Horse. I've known some of the guys for a few years, got to be pretty friendly with them. When I was managing a cafe, a multi-roaster cafe, we served some of their coffee. They actually made one specifically for the store, but that's not the one that I'm doing now. The one that I have today is called Peru Frontera San Ignacio, and it's on the lighter side of medium. It's actually the kind of roast that you would expect from something like an Ethiopian coffee, real light, kind of, where you want the acidity to really pop out at you. So their tasting notes are, it says subtle notes: cocoa, lemon, amaretto. I got some of the lemon. The cocoa was not so much there. When it cooled off, I brewed it a couple different ways. First, I brewed it using a Chemex. And then later on today, I took it and brewed it in a Kalita wave, which turned out a little better. It kind of brought some of the flavors through a little more because the filters are thinner. But in my opinion, they picked the wrong coffee to roast this lightly. It was lacking body. And I didn't get a lot of the acidity until it cooled down. And I was getting notes that I've had typically in Peruvian coffees before, like, like cooked peaches, things like that. But it wasn't until I got close to the end and it really, really cooled down. It's not bad, but I think I'd like this if they took the roast level a little darker. It tastes like it's a little underdeveloped, but still, it's a fair coffee. I'd like to see it though as more of a medium roast. I think it would bring out some sweetness, and you'd actually taste some of the other flavors.
So, what was it? What was the last thing that you roasted it? You roasted in, or you brewed it in?
A Kalita Wave.
Okay,
it's
what
like
is
a
that?
little pour over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I typically do pour overs. I don't have an electric coffee maker at home, but typically I do a Chemex every morning, and then down in the lab I've got aero presses and French presses and other things. Hopefully I'm gonna have an espresso machine down there at some point, but unfortunately the one that I want clocks in at around $7,000. That might be a while.
I typically like to do Chemex. I dig it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's nice too if you don't like oily coffee, because it has those thick diaper filters.
Yes. Plus, I like to watch it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Watching it drip down. It's sweet. So, cool. So, there you go. Copperhouse Coffee. That's a cool name, too.
Yeah, their logo's pretty sweet. I don't know.
You say they're local
you
too?
You guys saw it when I sent it earlier, but what's that?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Are they local to you?
Yeah, they're probably one or two towns over. Yeah. We have quite a few coffee roasters in this area for such a small town. It's kind of crazy.
That's nuts. And you stand out amongst them all.
I'm trying.
Well, hey, Wiley sent me a bag of Hex coffee. And Hex Coffee Company is close there where he's at in Chicago. And I don't know if he's trying to tell me something, but the name of the coffee was called Blood Witch. I'm nice. Like, Blood Witch? It's really like, I don't know if you can see it's pretty scary.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
I like it. I'm into it.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. I'm normally not a medium guy. I like dark coffee, and this is medium, but I really dug it. It says it's got notes of sweet citrus and floral. I didn't really get any of that. Now it was sweet, which was sweet and smooth. Actually, drinking it straight up black, I was kind of surprised how sweet the aftertaste was. But I dug it. I tried it in the regular old coffee pot the first time, and I was like, okay, this is not bad. And then I did a little batch in a Chemex, and it got better. I like my coffee with a little bit of cream and some sugar. And when I added the cream and the sugar to it, it really brought out the sweetness of this coffee, and it made it like really pop. So I dug it. It's really, I think I would like it more as a late afternoon coffee, because it does have a little bit of kick to it, other than just straight up in the morning. But yeah, the Blood Witch was pretty kicking.
Is it a blend, or does it say what beans are in it?
It doesn't. That I went online to look and see if it kind of tells us which where it's from, and it didn't really give me any information.
Oh, all right.
I dug a little bit, and I'm like, it doesn't really say. So
Secret.
It's a secret. It could come from, it could come from like Florida. I don't know.
Let's hope not.
Right. Oh gosh. Yeah, they have a little, it's kind of funny. It says, we have all woken up looking like this, but don't be fooled. She has a job to do. So I don't know.
Nice.
Wouldn't coffee from Florida just be called bath salts?
Yes. Or Florida man. It's just called
Yeah.
there's one blends bath salts, the other one's Florida man.
Florida's a tough subject around here.
Oh gosh. Jeez. Yeah, especially in the group chat. You don't bring up Florida in the group chat, man.
No.
At least they didn't win the cup, so that's all that matters.
Right. Yeah, it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. So what you got, Jacob? Or not Jacob, sorry. Jacob already told us what you got, Steven.
So I tried a local brewer to me from Wellesley, Mass. It's Hey Hay's coffee roasters. I think kind of new. Somebody suggested that I check it out, so I went with the blend. It's a signature blend. It's called Dokdo. It's a medium roast. It's chocolate, caramel, and cinnamon. I can tell you it's not super sweet, so it was very clean, smooth, and like when the first sips, you get that chocolate caramel, and it kind of finishes with the cinnamon, but it wasn't like overbearing. It was very nice. It was a nice cup of coffee. It wasn't like a dessert coffee. I kind of saw that. I'm like, oh, this thing's gonna be so sweet and like desserty, but it wasn't. It was very smooth. My only knock on it would be, I would say it's more just medium, not really dark. But it definitely is very good. I did a little research on the company. So she has a cafe, the roaster, in Wellesley. That's where she kind of started. She's from South Korea, I believe. That's where you get the Dokdo from. And I kind of looked that up. I guess it's an island off of South Korea. So I'm not sure if that's where she's from, but it was kind of cool, like reading like the background of her like getting into stuff. So I definitely highly suggest checking it out. She's got a bunch of different blends that she's been doing. If you're in the Boston area, go to Wellesley, check out her cafe. But yeah, it's very sweet, very not sweet, very clean. I'm not very good at describing it, but it's just very fresh. Like a great cup of coffee, could drink it any time of the day. Not crazy caffeine-y like some of the ones we've had recently. But yeah, no, it's a solid cup of coffee, and I want to check out some of her other stuff because it was really good.
When you say Hey Hayes, is it just like hey, like hey?
It's JEJES.
JEJE. Okay.
Yep. Hey Hayes coffee roasters. I'll send you a link so we can put it on there.
Yeah. Okay.
She got an Instagram and all that jazz. But yeah, it was good stuff. At the pretty basic packaging, but looks like
I like it. It's just nice.
She's just getting into it, right? But it was good. It was really good. Highly recommended it.
Yeah, especially their Instagram. I like it.
Yes, it was the cinnamon. It wasn't like overbearing. It actually had a nice little kick at the end. So she mixed her notes very well. I was impressed. Solid cup of coffee. Go check it out.
So I have a question, Jacob.
Does it involve this weird tea kombucha thing I'm drinking?
No, it doesn't involve that. All right. So when you're roasting your coffee, and like people talk about the notes that's in the coffee. Like I was trying to explain this to somebody today. Like they were like, so they're adding all this stuff to it, like this syrupy stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm sure there's probably stuff like that, but legit roasters you don't add stuff when you're roasting coffee to get like the chocolate, the raspberry, the citrusy. It's just how you roast it, right?
It's the soil, it's the type of bean. It's it's all natural. It's there's nothing added to it. There are a bunch of places like when you see the chocolate fudge brownie coffee and stuff like that, that's all flavor syrups that you do after, or you spritz them or whatever. But no, when you read it, it's kind of like reading a wine bottle and you see the wine notes. It's just, the wine, it's the grape, it's the terroir. It's the same thing with coffee. And then you can coax different, like when you get a coffee for the first time, a lot of times you'll do it on a sample roaster like mine. I do 100 grams at a time. You do a very clean, short roast just to get an idea of what's in there. It'll let you taste the defects if it has any, and then you'll get a basic idea of what the coffee can taste like, and then you'll figure out how you want to develop it later in a production roast, so you can bring out some of the chocolatey notes or some of the stone fruit or whatever. You can kind of manipulate it with time and temperature.
That's awesome. So you're like
It's
a
a lot of
mad
fun.
scientist.
Yeah. Right.
Sure.
So I have a question too, since we're doing that, because I've always kind of wanted to know this stuff too. I'm just like the rookie coffee guy, but so what about the origin elevation process? Like what does that have to do? Like what changes? What does that add to the coffee? Like what's the difference between like this one? I specifically says 1200 to 2100 MSAL washed origin level process.
Meters above sea level.
Yeah, but what does that do to the beans? Like
The higher above sea level, you'll get a denser bean.
okay,
And then like a lot of your Arabica coffees are going to be higher elevation, and then you'll have Robusta coffees, which they'll typically use for things like instant, and they're low level. You get a lot of it in places like Vietnam, just like lowland growing coffees. They're not very sweet. A lot of times they're bitter. They don't have a lot of interesting flavor characteristics, or at least not good ones, but they're really high in caffeine. Like if you see that Death Wish coffee, they say, most whatever, it's because they're adding that to it to boost the caffeine content.
that makes sense.
They have a big following. I don't enjoy it at all.
No. I think it tastes like sludge, but that's just me. Yeah, I'm not into it at all. So awesome. We had coffee reviews and some education.
That's right.
I don't know if it's education or just bro science.
That'll work. Awesome. All right. There you go. There's your coffee reviews.
This is Mark of Fear and Filth. We are a 4-piece power violence band out of Nova Scotia, Canada. The song you're about to hear is called Scoria. It is the single off our newly released album titled Blessed Be. Scoria is about the feelings of hopelessness, despair, indifference. It speaks on the current state of the world, unmitigated climate change, perpetual disease, rise of fascism around the globe, financial instability. It can all make one feel kind of used up, burnt out, hence the name Scoria. Anyway, we appreciate you listening. Hope you enjoy the track. Silence
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Well, we're at that time where it's hardcore time. So here we go. Who's your friend?
We're getting ready to review hardcore, and you got the cat up there. It's like
Right?
hardcore kitty.
Hardcore kitty.
Awesome.
All right, so I'll start this one off. So I went with the band Cherish, and they released the Project XOXO. They released it off of Life Lair Records. They dropped it June 2nd of this year. They're from Sydney, Australia. They are straight edge hardcore, and a couple of songs I like the most are "Give Them the Rope" and "All the Pain." All the Pain. Those are probably my two favorites. Definitely, I think "All the Pain" might have surpassed "Give Them the Rope," but that was their first single, so that's the one I'm going to drop in a little bit for you guys to check out. Yeah, honestly, so the build up and breakdowns, they're super cool. Music gives me like an old school vibe with a fresh new flavor. It's really good. It's straight edge hardcore. Comes right at you in waves. The guitars are like ripping. I love the vocals because I love the screams that I can actually understand what people are saying still with my old age. That's what I like. I don't want to have to make it too hard on myself, but yeah, I think the vocals are just, they're amazing. The lyrical content, hope, struggle, pain, the life of a trans person, you can hear it in his voice and in his lyrics, the stuff that he's going through. So I personally love this EP. I think that it's great. I think if once you hear it, you're gonna love it too. It's cool to have a hardcore band from Australia on here. They're from Sydney. There's actually a pretty big bunch of bands that I've been listening to from that area. So Australia's got it going on. So yeah, I think I would like to Give Them the Rope.
All right, we'll do it right now.
Cherish. There it goes.
So yeah, that's pretty awesome. I really dug it. I like the whole album. I like the album cover. I like the name of the album, which is Project XOXO.
Yep.
Man, and the vocals, to me, the vocals are what stand out on this. I love the old school thrash kind of feel. Definitely that 80s thrash guitar kind of kicking in it. But man, the vocals is what makes this album rock so hard. And I was so happy that you threw this, because I didn't even hear of these guys before, and now here they are, and we're putting them on the show. So stoked about that, big time.
Yeah, the energy in these, the energy is great. The vocals are kind of crazy, and I like it. Kind of reminded me of some Metallic Crust.
Yeah,
and then, but kind of mixed with trying to think of the label, like some of the vegan straight edge stuff that I think like Catalyst did. It just reminds me of a weird combination of those two. It was really, really good.
And it's definitely like brings me back to like 90s. It's got the 90s vibe that we all like.
Yeah.
But it's got something new. I don't know. It's got something for us that's new. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I've been listening to it a ton since it dropped, and again, the artwork was pretty cool too. I dig that. But I see them playing a bunch too. They've been playing out a lot like the last week or so. So they're definitely they're moving around. Be interested to see what's next,
Yeah. Any chance of them coming to the States? Have you seen anything?
I haven't seen anything like that. I can imagine going from Australia to the United States is probably a pretty penny these days. So,
oh yeah.
I think it'd be tough to get them over here, but that would be pretty killer.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. What who's next? Who has something else?
I'll go, because we gotta save the big band for last.
Yeah,
right?
save the big one. Big one for last.
So I went with Gum. Slogan Machine is the album. It came out May 19th is when it dropped. Gum is from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thanks to the Hardcore Encyclopedia, I now know that. The song I picked is No Frontier, because I think it's even though it's like the first song on the album, I really think they picked a wise one for the first song, because it's a good introduction to what's about ready to drop on this LP. Like total like alternative 90s kind of grunge, almost like like some of the tones reminded me in just the first 5 seconds when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, it sounds like Dinosaur Jr. for some reason. Like I just real like alternative 90s kind of feel, and then it just kicks in, and you have this like crushing kind of sound building up, and then it goes straight into this hardcore punk thing. And it's so this all these elements mixing together, and then you add this huge bass tone that makes everything just so solid and so huge. And they keep changing back from this hardcore punk kind of like fast double beat kind of feel, and then it'll drop down to this alternative 90s kind of thing where the vocalist comes in and he's almost got this raspy sing-songy voice, and then it'll go back to the fast pace. It's just a change of pace. It's almost like if you took what's the one band we had on, Squint? Yep. If you took those guys and like mixed it with like a punk heavier side, it's like blending those two things together. I just thought it was a beautiful representation of all those things together. I dug it. I thought it was something different, something newer that's coming out, and Gum is pretty sweet. So so let's drop No Frontier, and then you tell me what you guys think. All right, here we go.
Everything's so claustrophobic, but there's so much left to learn. There is no frontier, no stone left to turn. We build the future, we will it to exist. But it's not the heaven we hoped. There's a lot we missed. There is no frontier, no stone left unturned. Everything's so claustrophobic, but there's so much left to learn. There is no frontier. I wanna feel like this world is a world worth saving. I wanna feel like this world is a world worth saving. I wanna feel like this world is a world worth saving. I wanna feel like this world is a world worth saving.
Boom, there it is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
It
good
was-
stuff.
I like the way it starts out like really fast, like old school punk, but then
Mhm.
sorry, I have a cat jumping on me. I don't know if you can see your tail inside my head.
Yep.
But then it goes into like that like mid-paced kind of hardcore, like
Mhm.
almost like early Midwest hardcore, and it's very, the riffing in it is very angular, almost in a Helmet sort of way.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And some of it actually feels like Brian Gray wrote some of it. Like
Oh.
it has some of his like signature on it.
Yes. Especially like those mid-blamed albums.
Yeah.
The one with the I can't believe I can't remember the name of the album, but yeah, totally feel that.
And Jacob nailed it. I mean, honestly, that song too, I feel like just that specific song that you picked at the beginning, it kind of gives you that Turnstile vibe.
A little bit, yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bit. And then it definitely, I mean, it changes along, but they get real punky too, like as the album goes. And I love the end of that song, the line, was it I want to feel like this world is a world I could save, right? Worth saving. And it's good stuff. The lyrical context great. I know that a few of the songs on that album were singles along the way, but I've kind of been following them for a long time, and I think they're a pretty big thing in the Chattanooga area as far as the
Yeah.
hardcore scene goes.
Yeah.
They're like very well into it in their scene. So it'd be cool. I'd like, this is a band I would like to see do some touring.
Yeah.
I've never really seen them go outside their home base. But if they did, I'd like to see them come up east, because I would love to see them play live. I think they'd be a really good show. Very solid. I can even see them playing with like a what's the band we had on before? I can't remember. Yeah, that one.
That one? Yeah, that one. Well, they've been playing some pretty big shows too. Like they're on a looks like a show coming up with Drug Church and Drain.
Yep.
And then they just a bunch of cool stuff they got coming out, like where they're playing with that's a record release show, but they're playing with 7 Seconds.
Yeah.
One Step Closer one night. So yeah, they've been playing some bigger shows. So that's pretty cool.
That's what it is, One Step Closer. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking of.
that was it.
I think I can imagine the Chattanooga scene is probably a bunch of shows too. That's
Oh, yeah.
pretty good spot. But
All right, so we saved the best for last. We saved the big band for last, right? So what Jacob's shaking his head.
Well, I feel like the 2 episodes so far that you've let me review something, I just kind of throw a curveball into it, like doing All Out War last time, and you guys are like, well, it's kind of metal, but and then this time I wasn't even going to ask when this album came out if I could review it. It just popped up in the chat, and I was given the green light because, well, everybody knows I'm a huge Rancid fan.
Right.
And I've been waiting for this one to come out for a while. And it just came out, what, like 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's I was originally going to go with the second track, Mud, Blood, and Gold, because it's a standout on the album. It doesn't sound like anything else on the album, but I figured I'd get a lot of shade for doing that because it doesn't really sound like Rancid. And I've been reading online, people are just shitting all over this album.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Like,
and you know, one guy was talking about how it's their worst album, and somebody else jumped in and said, "Have you written a better album?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, good point." But so I ended up going with the title track, "Tomorrow Never Comes," because it just sounds so Rancid. Like it goes back to even like "Let's Go." Like there's just some of that high energy feel to it, but some of the more like later mature writing, you know, because they're getting older, you know, they're an old guy punk band. And, you know, somebody even mentioned, they're like, hey, cut him some slack. Tim's practically a senior citizen at this point.
Right.
But yeah, you know, it's got the melodies, you know, he's one of my favorite songwriters, one of my favorite vocalists. And I don't know, I think the whole album's great, but yeah, I don't know. What'd you guys think of it?
Well, let's play that track first and then we'll come back. Let's do that. All right, here we go. there it was.
And there it was.
I think the only thing missing is Wiley being here talking about how much he does not want to hear Matt sing.
I don't understand the flack it's getting, because to me it's
Right.
like I know what it is going into it, and I'm like, this is a good Rancid album, and like we kind of listened to it a lot at work since it's came out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's not a track on there that makes me go, oh, I didn't want to listen to that. Like every single
That's
track,
right,
I'm
you don't-
like, this it's just a good Rancid album. Like
Yeah.
I think what the problem is like everybody thinks that it has to have that. What was the ones that had like a big commercial success, like Ruby Soho and
Like Out Come the Wolves, that album.
yeah, like it's just so weird. And then here's something like you said, it's more mature. That's what I feel like. It's like a mature Rancid album, and everybody's like, I don't want that. I want Ruby Soho. I'm like, no, dude, like this is a good album. Like,
Well,
so,
you're going to get people that are going to get mad because it doesn't sound like the other albums. And then you're going to get other people to get mad because it does sound like the other albums.
right.
As a band, you can't win. So you just have to write what you want to play. And if
Right.
people like it, they like it. If not, then they can go listen to something else.
Right.
I can imagine it's got to be super difficult too when you do have like such a success to come back and just keep writing music too. Like like you said, you're in the eyes of like everybody, and you can't make everybody happy. It's just not. It's not possible. But
No.
it's a solid album, and honestly, if you don't like Rancid, then I don't like you. It's that easy. It's that simple, you know. No, but I think it's awesome, and even I hear, and I'm not gonna. So Devil in Disguise, I love that song.
Yeah.
I love it all, honestly. I like the it's like I got a little bit of the I hate to say it, so the drop kickish style in that song, and it's a road to righteousness. I thought the whole thing was solid front to back. I didn't skip one song, and that means that it's a great piece of artwork. So
Yeah.
you know, I think I'm pretty excited, and I know they're coming to Boston, so I think Mick sent that to me, so I'm trying to get to that show.
Are you going to go to the Murphy's Law or the Agnostic Front?
Probably Agnostic Front.
I kind of want to go to that. So maybe I'll see you there. I really want to go to that. I haven't
That'd be
seen
awesome.
Rancid since, I think last time I saw Rancid was 95.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me.
Yeah.
Long time.
The big festival that's in Chicago, I don't remember what it's called.
Lollapalooza.
No, it's the other one.
Isn't that still going?
I can't remember what it is, but Rancid's playing at it. But there's a huge rumor going around that Operation Ivy's they're gonna do some Operation Ivy songs, or actually do a set.
Like Jesse's gonna jump up and like sing some stuff.
Yeah, like it's total like secret, like, but it's kind of leaked, and I'm like, is that really happening? Like, come on, is that really like?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I don't know, because some friends of ours are actually going, and they were running down the list of all the bands they're going to try to go see. And I said, "Oh, are you going to go see Rancid?" And he said, "Well, my wife wants to go see him." And I said, "You know, there's supposed to be like a secret Operation Ivy show." And he's like, "Who's that?" And I was like,
"Oh."
I was so disappointed. I'm like, "What? No." But she knew who that was. So I was like, okay. So at least one person in the household knows who that is. So yeah. So I'm hoping they get a report that they did have a secret show, and they actually record it, and I could, more people could see it. That'd be sweet.
And if the secret show doesn't happen, if you didn't hear it here. No.
Yeah, if it didn't have it, yeah. We're not spreading rumors.
Right.
We just heard a rumor.
Right.
Oh gosh. All right. 3 solid albums for the show, I think.
Yep.
Good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, there's your album reviews for this episode. Sweet. All right, so it's that time of the show. It's the end. And this is where we ask that you, like us on Instagram, share this episode with all your friends and your, everybody that you know, get it out there everywhere, help us spread the word, and, give a shout to these bands that we reviewed, and the coffee that we reviewed. Go buy some of this stuff and support.
Yeah, support them, support the record labels, support their causes. Share and share and share. Throw it on Facebook. Make your mother listen to it. Whatever you gotta do.
And if the band comes to your town, make sure you skip the merch table and buy it from them out back.
Yes.
Yes.
Because more than likely the venue is charging them part of their merch.
Crazy money.
That's nuts. Oh gosh.
It's crazy. Yeah, they I think definitely the record labels too. Like, I know there's a ton of like shows coming this summer. Usually with good lineups. So get out there and help support them. I mean, we're spoiled. I feel like each year we keep getting greater and greater music.
Yeah.
People pushing it. So they need help to support just like everybody else. So times are tough.
I thought last year, like with all the albums that came out last year, I thought that last year was pretty crazy, but this year's been pretty nuts too.
I feel like it's heating up,
Yeah, like for me at least, there's been, the Mean Season album dropped, which I was like, didn't even know was happening, so that blew me away. There's an Unbroken album coming some point down the road. Yeah. they're putting out at least an EP because they're playing Mean Season and Unbroken is playing in California at a festival, and they're Unbroken's releasing something, and then the album that Wiley's going to review probably another episode, that Buggin' album is cool.
Yep,
there's just a ton of good stuff this year. Like
you got Bane back on tour. Bane's back on tour. They're playing this weekend.
Yeah, what's
here
with that?
In Boston, and then they're playing what's it called? Festival, the big one, Furnace Fest. There's a bunch of older bands getting back in it, so I don't mind that.
So this could be the summer of hardcore again.
Yeah,
there'll be a lot of good stuff coming out. Yeah, awesome. Well, fellas, that's it.
That is all.
That's it.
The whole thing. That's it. That's all there is. Anybody else got anything, closing comments or remarks?
Sell your house. Buy a
Sell your house. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, there it is. Words of wisdom.
What kind of boat? Like a canoe or a kayak?
Nah, something you can live in.
Oh,
a houseboat.
Yeah, houseboat.
Yeah.
Down in Mississippi.
No, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Wiley's chiming in asking how it's going.
Oh, did he say something?
He's just asking how the podcast is going.
Here, I'll send him this.
Tell him we're at the end. Horrible. get him all worked up.
They'll get him all worked up. He'll be like, what? What happened? I should have said it's the best it's ever been. And then he'll be like, I'm going to quit. And... Oh, gosh. It's easy to pick on him when he's not here.
Right?
Oh. All right. There it is. There's the show. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, make you start us.
All right. All right, here we are. It is the Coffee and Hardcore Pack. Yeah.
Podcast.
Podcast. Let's start that again.
Podcast. We had the podcast. This is going at the end. Put this at the end. The Baker's dozen. Baker's dozen shits there, Bob.
All right, here we go. All right. It's that time again. It's the Coffee and Hardcore podcast. And we're naming this one Reviews and Shit. I've got Wiley Willis.
I thought it was gonna be coffees and shit, like coffee shit.
So coffees make me shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that what we're gonna do? So coffee's all right. Well, then I gotta do it over again. Hold on.
I thought it was gonna be reviews, coffee, and shit. Wait, that doesn't sound right.
No, you keep adding stuff. It was just reviews and shit. And
Yeah,
now
let's do that. Let's do that. Drop this at the end so people can hear how ridiculous we are. Hey, Jacob's got a cat. That's a cute little cat. That cat hates you.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, wait, what episode is this?